Hi there. Can you hear me well, Robin?
I can hear you well. You have a little bit echo, but I can live with it. I hope that everyone else as well.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe it's just a high end sound. You have a strong voice.
Sorry. I'll speak. So,
Don't worry.
I guess we'll have the presentation.
You're logging on me, my friend.
Okay, so let's hope that it will stream. I have passed it, so it should be fine. Welcome,
I would,
everybody.
I would ask if has issues that you are logging on him as well or not. Please write it to the message because we just tested it and it worked fine, and now I can see that David is logging on me.
Like, you are fine with me. I can hear everybody as everybody.
Yeah.
So, let's get started. Today we are here to speak about Mana, move to Shopify Plus. A lot to say about it. Robin can go to the next slide about each other of us. David, I'm the founder of the agency that is taking care of sounds on Shopify. Rob, CEO of my agency as well. The cool thing is that he started
David,
Ecommerce Manager.
David,
Yes.
we can hear probably like two words then break, two words then break. And as a proof, people are already writing about it.
Give me a sec then.
So, yeah, hopefully he can fix it. We've just been here and it was fine. Anyway, in the meanwhile, when we are waiting for David, I'll quickly introduce myself. I hope that he will join momentarily. As a host of this, he should. So, as David said, right now I'm co-owner of the Sounds Good agency and also its CEO. But before that, I was leading Mana e-commerce as an e-commerce manager for almost 3 years, or basically 3 years. And that's the reason why I'm here, because I was there during the move to the Shopify Plus, and even way past that. And now no one can hear David. Now, welcome back.
So tell me if it is better now.
Now it's still locked. I don't know what you've done, mate. Maybe try it one more time.
What about now?
Yeah, it seems good. Seems
Okay.
good.
Problems?
So I already introduced myself. Now it's up to you to introduce yourself because no one could understand you.
Sure. Sorry about that. I am the founder of Sounds. We are the first and only person in Czech Republic and Slovak.
Man, I will stop you right now. Please switch. Something is really wrong and you are breaking still. I don't know how you had it
Jesus.
before, but it was much better. Turn off your headphones.
Okay.
I think it's lovely, Mac. So here it is. That's what happened when you start doing the live stream. Never goes as you plan. So I can talk about David. He's a nice guy. You can see that he has a bright smile. Yeah.
So you tell me, how
I'm gonna
bad is
start to
it?
speak and then start to speak.
I'm speaking now.
Oh, I had a little bit delay based on the camera, but probably good. I don't know.
Okay. So I'll speak a bit more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now it's
Can you hear
perfect.
me?
It's perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so have you introduced me already?
I just said that you have a nice smile.
Okay, I think that's enough for now. Let's move forward.
Oh,
So today we have a specific program prepared for you. We are going to introduce ourselves, which we already did. We are going to speak a bit about Mana, about their founder. We are going to speak why they migrated to Shopify Plus in the first place, and while we are on that topic, what Shopify Plus is, and for whom is it a good fit. We're going to discuss a bit about our collaboration with Mana and why it could be good for other people as well to consider having external experts to help, because turns out you don't need an army of developers to have a very cool shop. Since we are going to be on the topic of collaboration with external teams, we are going to speak a bit about ourselves at Sounds Good Agency. Don't worry, it will be a very short plug. We wanted to explain and showcase some results that Man has achieved since they moved to Shopify. And we are going to also present their app stack, what apps or what key apps they are using right now that allow them to run the operations they are running. Then we're going to focus on the specific point, which is one of the most interesting ones, and it's like a key strategic aspect of Mana's success, which is their approach to subscriptions and customer loyalty. Please feel free to write on the chat anytime. We are going to be collecting questions, and in the end we'll have a Q&A. And thank you, Irji. It's better now. I'm not lagging. I'm happy for that. Perfect. Let's go.
if anyone would actually like to know anything about David, you will learn on the end because he wasn't able at the beginning.
Exactly. So, Robin, you were working at Mana for 3 years. You are the best one to speak a bit about their DNA, what they do, why they do the things they do. Give me a bit of an intro about them, please.
Yeah. So Mana, for those who doesn't know, it's a complete or nutritionally complete food in the powdered or liquid form, which may sound boring, but it's super interesting. What they are actually doing, that they are providing full, nutritionally full meal in like really something only what you can drink. You don't need to cook, you don't need to do anything else, and it's well balanced. It's designed based on the middle sea around the middle sea the diet, so which is usually considered like the most healthy. It has all the vitamins, minerals, right ratio of the macro and micronutrients, etc.
Okay, so
Well,
great when your wife is traveling, right? And you're alone at home.
yeah, I think that's maybe not how it started. That's the most common use, I would say. For example, my wife is taking it always when she's going to some longer meetings or do some longer rides that because of the work, so she know that she doesn't have time for food, so she do it like that. But there are even people who use it either for the breakfast or even for like complete switch to a Mana instead of anything else. So it really can fit. It really depends on the use which you have, but it depends. Yeah.
Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, I just want to say that, as you can see, that Mana has been founded in 2014. And why we have here Jakub Koichi, because I believe that he is the super important person there. Not only he is the founder, but also he cannot tries Mana to be the best as possible. And of course, right now there is more probably than 30, 40 people, but his impact is still there, and it's everything is running around it, and it's really seen there. So how I said that they are innovative, I think that he is one of the main person who is forcing that and making sure that these things happen. Great visionary in that sense, even working on different projects or starting different projects, which helps NASA or trying to figure out how to help NASA, etc. So it's really interesting. And Mana right now has already 8 iteration. At the beginning, it was when Jakub started, it was only him. But right now, of course, there is a whole R&D department which is making sure that the project is really, it can really not only fit the market, but it's really what is promised, and that's the best of the best.
Yeah, Mac is quite an interesting brand, and I would say that a lot of it comes from their approach to design, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I think that we have it on the next slide, but we can jump directly to it. And Mana has a strong design foundation. There is head of design, Greg Viatkins, really the designer, and together with Jakub, they taken the inspiration from Apple, Tesla, and it's not, and all the pop culture of the Space Odyssey. You can see it through the ads and sometimes even through the eShop that this is really where they want to go. And if you consider that this is supposed to be like food for everyone and also high-end product, it's always hard to connect. And I think that Apple and Tesla does it really well, and so it's really cool to take the inspiration from them. And that's where I believe that it's taken from, even if it's totally different product, right? Different use, but it's still high-end. It's supposed to be for everyone, so they are fitting. They right now, they even their design, even if you take a look in the packages and everything, it's always really well done and always focus on the detail, even on the website. So yeah, you can say that definitely the design is one of the motor, and what it's kind of the brand signature, I would call it.
And this is an interesting topic because I've known you for a while. I know that you're quite a pragmatic guy, not the typical designer at all. So, being a guy that is definitely more inclined to the marketing activities, the specific functionalities of the website, how did you deal as an e-commerce manager with this high focus on like brand first, design first?
At the beginning, it wasn't easy, but then when you take a look on the marketing from the broader point of view, you can see that definitely you need to go this way. Nowadays, people tend to fall for the brand, and even if the brand will do something wrong or what they don't like, they will still follow the brand because they like it. And so the brand is key element to building up. And of course, I'm not saying that brand is everything. I would never say that. And yeah, we sometimes had little fights what needs to be brand or what needs to be performance, etc. But the brand itself is if you have a tree, so this is what makes the tree grow, right? That's the watering, that's the sun, etc. So the tree can grow, and the performance is then just picking up the fruits. And so you need both of these sides, and one cannot live without the second one. And especially when you are maybe not so competitive, surrounding Mana is, even so there are some competitions, of course, but you need to stand out, and you need to make sure that when you are going in the retailer, that you can see, oh, this is Mana and I know it. And the same applies for the website. So once you will receive the email from Mana, you will know that it's Mana, and then you fall for the brand, follow it, become a subscriber, become a loyal customer. And yeah, I think that's something what Mana is really trying to do, and it's really strong in it. And yeah, for me, it was a little bit struggle, but I know that this is not my strong suit or strong side. So I was happy that in Mana there is a lot of people who is focused on the detail, who is detail oriented, and I'm more like the bigger picture guy. So I don't go to these, not even design details, but even I know that it's needed, but I couldn't do it. So there is more people who can do it and they love it. And that's great, right? Because you cannot have people all the same. you always need to have people which has their strong sides. So
Yeah, I think that we're going to get later on once we speak about the results of Mana,
yeah,
the numbers exactly specifically. I think we're going to see a bit the fruits that come from this like long-term strategy of focusing on brand. While we are at it, you once again as e-commerce manager of Mana, how did you perceive how do you perceive the reasons that they had to make a change? Because if I'm well aware, they were on Prestashop before.
yeah.
What were the biggest issues that they had there that forced them or that led them to look for an upgrade towards Shopify, for example?
I need to a little bit say that when I came to Mana, it was already decided that we are moving to the Shopify. I wasn't in the decision process in the beginning. It was done by Jakub Krejcik and Grigory Vyatkin and hold the leadership. But because I was there really from the point when we start talking to the Shopify. Actually, there was my interview in Mana. I had my interview went well, and then they just asked me, "Hey, we will have just call with the Shopify Plus. Can you join us and do like some stuff which may be problematic when you are switching to a different platform?" So that was my interview in Mana, right? So I wasn't there in the design
Was
process.
it when we had that interview, it was the first time you ever heard about Shopify, or did you have any idea about it before?
I had idea. I never worked with it till then. I
Okay.
had like some idea how it works, what it does, but probably as the same as many people who never worked with it, I consider it something like, yeah, cool. WooCommerce is here as well, and it's basically the same.
Okay. Okay. So
And
you thought it was a similar
yeah,
solution like e-commerce or different like
yeah.
basic platforms?
On
Just
the
a
call, on the call, I really quickly understood that it's not like that.
okay.
But yeah, it was really interesting. But the struggles which Mana had, and I think they led to it, I could see even before we switched to the Shopify, right? So
Mm-hmm.
could be even from the point that when you want to change something small on the website, it took a day of the developer to make sure that it will not move different way, etc. And I'm not talking about the backend, the connection to the accounting and everything. That
Okay.
wasn't day passed when someone didn't come and they didn't say, "Hey, we don't have the invoices in our system," etc.
Yeah.
So like these struggles were there, and of course, Mana was like aiming to grow, moving to another market, coming with the new ideas, making sure that they will stay design wise on the top. It's not really easy when you have a platform which is not agile and you just need even two people just or three people just to like holding it together so it will not break, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the things. And the others, I think that they more came maybe not as a surprise, but it was also because of the technological stack. But this is all connected. But the thing, for example, about the administration, etc., no one actually knew how it will be in the Shopify at the time, like
Yeah.
how the orders will be processed, etc. That was like problem to be solved later.
Mm-hmm.
So these things were actually a nice surprise, and like if I think about it retrospectively, I we could see the first really big fruit after a week because we launched Mana store probably something like the Shopify store, the Czech one probably something like Wednesday or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Saturday we run a major campaign with an influencer, and suddenly the Shopify got hit with the thousands of the orders per day, and it was kind of like interesting to see that the system does not break. The
Yeah,
system
because when you
works.
were before on the Prestashop, you were used to like have lots of troubles probably when you're doing a bigger campaign, something would crash and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I know it from more from the hearing than actually the thing. But yeah, even during the month until we switched to the Shopify, I think that there were like 2, 3 blackouts. They could be only short, right, for a few minutes. But yeah, they were there always, constantly.
Yeah.
So that definitely can take a hit on the on like how the brand performs. On the other side, like yeah, Mana at the time was always in the news, so that, that really helped.
Cool. So regarding these changes,
Yeah,
curious to know, like, if the design aspect. I know you weren't there, but knowing Jakub Krejci, the founder, how much was the intuitive approach to UX and the design principles of Shopify, how
I,
much those aspects influence Jakub to taking a shot? Because you said they didn't make a very thorough analysis of how they are going to operate. They did like a good bet,
yeah.
but is it also part of the fact that like Shopify is so it looks so easy to use and so intuitive, so Apple-like somehow? Did
Yeah,
that make
maybe.
part of Jakub's decision?
But I think that the main decision was, okay, this is stable and we can do whatever we want.
Okay,
And
so
then,
it was more about scalability and
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and like the design comes in the hand. If you have something stable and you can edit it however you want, then you know that you will aim for the best design, right? And
Yeah,
that's
cool.
it.
Cool. So I guess the next steps would be to explain a bit more for the ones that are not so aware of like what's Shopify or
Yeah,
specifically what's Shopify Plus, right?
yeah. I think that for everyone who would struggle as me, that they would consider it as a WooCommerce, that it would be really helpful. So I'll let you speak. You know it the
Sure.
best.
Yeah, the cool thing about this client migrating to Shopify, it is that they actually were one of the first Czech brands moving to Shopify Plus, which was quite new at the time for our market. Uh, so just to give a quick intro, what is Shopify Plus? What is the major differences between it and Shopify? Shopify Plus was basically created as a solution for the more enterprisey clients. You know, clients that are actually starting to make uh, high results, higher volumes. So we are thinking minimum at least $1 million per year. That's like the bare minimum for you to consider Shopify Plus, generally speaking. And Shopify Plus, what they claim to be is that they are the best platform that allow you to reach more customers, allow you to convert more checkouts, and will scale fast as hell. The crazy thing about this is what like Robin was saying. You can actually process thousands and thousands of checkouts, not even per day, but per minute, and Shopify will handle it seamlessly. And that's what you want if you plan on growing a brand and if it's more than just like a side hustle. Once you're actually building a company, a team, you definitely would have to go to a more advanced solution, which is Shopify. And then after a certain level of revenue or after you need a certain amount of features, then you should consider Shopify Plus. Here we have some of their specific features and advantages. They have dedicated partners. They have same level of support, but even better than Shopify. You have a whole community where you learn a lot from each other, even other Plus merchants or Plus partners, etc.
I
You
must
have go on. Sorry.
I must agree with that. That I do remember at the time of especially in the COVID, we had like multiple meetings organized by Shopify with other merchants from similar environment, and that was really helpful because, okay, not for me maybe so much, but at the time for at some point yes, and we were like talking about the struggles which we are having, and Shopify was there only basically making notes and making sure what they can like improve or help us sometime, but usually it was. I do remember that I was on the call with the Soda Stream, and we spent there like 20 minutes only talking about to our brands how we are dealing with the staffs and just making sure like that we are doing the best what we can and we have the best solution. So yeah,
Yeah, and I recall you shared with me at the time of COVID that you actually learned a lot regarding the subscription aspect, which we're going to touch later on, right? Within this community of Shopify merchants, I think there is even some Facebook group just for them or something of the kind. Basically, you actually get a lot of knowledge, a lot of webinars of people that were experienced on how to run subscriptions, which was very valuable for you later on, once you were also one of the first CPG, consumer packaged goods company in Czech Republic to launch a subscription service. So that's quite interesting. I'm going to run through the next couple of slides because they are going to just highlight differences between Shopify Advanced, which is the tariff for Shopify Plus. As you can see, there is a huge focus on the expansion stores. Shopify Plus, it's your biggest help to expand globally. There is, of course, a lot of things that become unlimited in terms of what you can do. These API rate limits are already not up to date because yesterday was Shopify editions where they come up with more than 100 updates, and one of them was a update regarding the rate limits. So Shopify keeps making itself more and more powerful. On the next slide, we have here some comparisons of some features that are exclusive to Shopify Plus. We have even the fact that they offer the Shopify POS Pro solution within the Plus pricing. So if you also sell retail or physical locations, you basically have everything in one pack. That's also why Shopify doesn't call itself anymore e-commerce specialist, but commerce. You know, sell anywhere, everywhere, anyway, anyhow, and they want to be there for you. So I just wanted to have this here for future reference. You guys know, if you follow and send us a DM, we'll send you the presentation with all the slides, and this information I think would be very valuable for you. What is Shopify Plus? What is Shopify by the numbers? Shopify is running millions of businesses, not just Shopify Plus, but Shopify in general. The crazy thing, they have like thousands of engineers on the clock working to make solution better. This is like something you don't see anywhere else, you know, not even in your local solutions or agencies that may make something custom. Like Shopify just innovates at a completely different pace than what everybody else is doing. And another great thing about is also the 10K plus apps that we have on Shopify store that allows you to expand your business and your store in many different ways in a very cost efficient manner. You don't have to, for each single thing, hire a developer or an agency to do everything from scratch. You have an ecosystem of plugins that you can use, and they are very thoroughly reviewed by Shopify, so they meet the standards that we want. 14,000 plus brands already use Shopify Plus. Here we have some of their examples. Besides these, we could also say, of course, Mana. We could say many of our other clients, Ledvance, OK Electro in Czech Republic. You want to say some of your favorites, Robin, of our Shopify Plus clients? I caught you unprepared, I guess.
Because my dog was barking, so I had to let her out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that my favorites, I like the stores which are starting smaller and getting to the expansion through the Shopify Plus. So
Yeah.
those are my favorite. If I would take it in the Czech Republic, I think that Snacks are doing great job there.
Yeah.
So yeah, brands like that, or even Oxoti, etc. Like
Yeah.
they are just showing that you can do it.
Yeah, Bloom Robbins as well, previously Bloom Hair. So it's very inspiring to see how some brands start even on a lower plan because they are still kind of small, and slowly Shopify helps them grow their revenue, grow their results, and they end up on this enterprisey type of plan because it makes more sense simply. So enough about Shopify. Let's discuss a bit how the collaboration was between Sounds Good Agency and Mana. How did it all started? And actually, it's funny because that was also the beginning of our relationship, of you and me, Robin, right?
Yeah, I think that we started through some. I was looking for someone who can help me with the Shopify Plus, because at the beginning we had our internal team in the Mana developers, but they didn't have the experience with the Shopify, right? So they had to find their ways around, and it wasn't really efficient. So then becoming a part from Mana, and we had to like find some agency which will help us. Even like only we had most of the stuff set up already, but with the consultation and one of the first thing which we were solving was the GoPay, because at the time GoPay was designed to have their basically card payment, but we want to use GoPay for the bank payments. So that was the first, I think that was one of the first conversation which we had together. And then also we found out that, okay, I can turn on you always when I have some struggles. And because I'm not the usual type who would like call for help when I don't need it. So I really did my homework, try to fix everything. And when I was lost, I asked you, and usually you've been able to help me or told me, hey, it's not possible. We need to code it in that case if you want to have that. So that, I think that was the part of the that was the first part. And then we start working more on it because when we didn't have the development team, we knew that we need to have someone who we can trust, and Sounds Agency was the first of all, we had the experience with you at the time, and second of all, you have been, and we still are, the only certified Shopify partner, right? So it kind of makes sense that made the sense at the time to like connect.
By experts,
Yeah, experts, sorry. So and then we start working on it, like on the first task, making sure that Zásilkovna will be, that the pickup points choosing will be in the place where people in the Czech Republic are used to, and trying to figure out other ways around. So yeah, that was the start of the competition.
We'll definitely speak a bit more about subscriptions and that it's important and some of the key lessons that you took from it. But the thing that for me was surprisingly, almost shocking, was that the fact that soon after our cooperation kick-started, you eventually felt like there was no need anymore for an internal team of developers in-house. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically, I think it was the aim from the beginning. I don't know if you consider it like if you have the team of 5 people, developers, so you can make a calculation. It's at least 500,000, right?
Crowns. You're thinking about Czech crowns, right?
Yeah, Czech crowns. So yeah, okay, 20,000 euro or something like that.
Okay.
So if you think about it, kind of makes sense because Shopify itself is running. You don't need to have army of the developers who will support it from each of the side because they are already included in the package which you are buying from the Shopify, right? So then you're just then you usually make the focus on make it better, or occasionally something fixed when you broke something, but that's all the point.
Cool. So we've been speaking about a bit about us already. We didn't say that like we are the only certified Shopify experts. And once again, not wanting to go too deep into it, what is a Shopify expert? You know, we basically got certified back in 2016 by Shopify. Back at the time, there wasn't that many players globally, neither in our market as in terms of Shopify partners that would support different merchants the way we were doing. And the cool thing is that like we loved it so much that we decided to do just Shopify. You know, when we started, we were actually part of a design front-end company, and very quickly I realized that I want to make Shopify an independent segment of our work, and that's where we started with the Sounds Good agency. And it was a good decision because, as you can see, we ended up closing some very interesting deals, speaking and cooperating with very interesting clients. Some of these you may know, some of those not. We have some international mix here. As you can see, we have one of our biggest clients, OK, from Czech Republic. Mana is right there in the middle. And also I'm proud that we were the ones bringing the GoPay integration to the Czech market, because back in the day, Shopify Payments was not here available, and we were able to integrate GoPay and also other gateways. So more and more Czech people would be able to launch their businesses in a more efficient way directly on Shopify. Here we have a bit of our services, but if I have to say in a short sentence, we basically do the strategy, the solution architecture, the front end and the back end full stack. Everything around this, we are here for you. And we have there the detail about long-term cooperation, and by this we mean partnership. We never work on like just a one-time thing. We like to make a partnership, and the result is actually going back to Mana, right? Because we are working together for 4+ years, and I look forward to working another 10 years with you guys. With you guys, and not anymore with them. You're not there anymore. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So let's get to the results.
I think that's why the people are here, right? They don't need to hear about us as an agency, but like what we actually achieve. And if I would take it chronologically, I think that the first thing, the hardest thing for me was, if you imagine the 2020 or 2019 or what was the year, and Shopify, it wasn't really like ready for the Europe and for the Czech Republic actually. So I think that we had to make there a lot of improvements. Today it's much easier, right? There are tons of apps which are supporting it, but like at the time there wasn't much apps, and we had to figure out. We basically were the first in everything in the Czech Republic. So first making Zásilkovna happen on the checkout, first connecting our accounting system. First, I think that we've been the first who actually gets striped to the Shopify in the Czech Republic, etc., etc. So on everything what we did, we've been the first. And as you can imagine, it wasn't always the roses and petals. It was kind of hard work, and I think that was our first thing which we did together to make sure that on the Czech market it can operate the way how people are used to it here. It including the GoPay, including the Zásilkovna, including some other parts which are much smaller. And then even the German market, it's different, right? You need to, even by the law, you need to put there different information. And then there are like some restrictions which you can do in the Czech Republic, cannot do in the German. So I think that this was one of the things which we focused, and we actually make work. And then of course the cost effectiveness. And I think that one of the proudest are some of the UI UX improvements which we did. I think that we will get to them a little bit later. And of course the custom-made subscription model, even so it's not fully custom-made, but it's a lot customized, I would say. And even right now, and like ongoing support with it and making sure that we are making the right decisions. Of course, sometimes we didn't, we said that we want something else, that it's the best practice, but that's how Mana operates. Like it has its own head and its own DNA and works slightly against the stream, like sometimes. So yeah, we had to always find the right way.
Why don't we jump to the quick demo of like the actual website? We can go to the VN store maybe just to give a quick introduction, so people know what we have been speaking about so far. We are getting to the 45-minute mark, so let's try to be able to.
I'll be quick. I'll take only but it's your fault, right? You had the 5-minute technical issue.
I cannot handle it.
So I think that one of the first thing you will notice is that Mana is really design based, and I'm sorry, my laptop is a little bit slow with all of these things running here. But you can see that everything there is design. One thing which I'm the proudest what we made is basically the cart, because the cart is kind of crazy. You can switch the subscription, non-subscription. And you have there other features like in some dependent on the case what you have in the cart, etc. It will give you the cross sell. So I think that this is really cool. Then of course we worked a lot on the and then the interesting thing is the combining here the power of the apps and the power of the development, because everything what you just saw, if I think about the inside of the page, I'm not talking about the menus and the cart, etc. Everything what you see, it's actually from page 5, which we will speak definitely around. But you can see that then you can combine like the apps, you can combine even the development itself, and some parts are from the development, some are from the apps, etc. So like these things I'm super proud of that we achieve, even so they changed in the time, and right now they are doing their great job with the designs. So they are changing design wise, but overall the logic there is the same. And that's, I think it's one of the best thing which we achieve, and including the customer portal when you log in, it's super cool. And I think it's just if you want to see it, go test it by yourself.
Yeah, and buy something while you are at it.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
So close it with the numbers. Let's read it quickly so we can actually put.
I will go only to those numbers which we have there. Everything else you can read through. But I think that I will take it from the point of from the e-commerce point of view, and these things are kind of interesting. Mana has the return rate of the customers usually above 70%, or it's slightly around. It can be some months lower, some months higher, but like 70% is kind of a huge return rate, and that kind of shows the focus. Also, the conversion rate 3.5% across all devices, or above it actually. It's kind of interesting. Like, and then we are talking about the page which is not the fastest one. So everyone who is saying that speed is everything, you can watch here. Of course, it can be improved, but yeah, that's I think it's the power of the brand as well.
Yeah.
And 1,000 of active subscribers, you can imagine that even if anything goes wrong, and that even if you wouldn't sell online, your ads would get much more expensive. I don't know what. Then still you have thousands of people which are receiving the product every month. Like, that's incredible, I think. And that's what we achieve. Mana has active subscription for 2.5 years, something like that. So it's a lot. And I think that these are the most important numbers from the e-commerce point of view. If I take whole Mana, then of course more than thousands locations where you can buy Mana physically, because at the retailers, either the, I don't know, petrol station or grocery stores and everything, they are just everywhere in the Czech Republic. So that's really cool. And we are getting.
I guess we were supposed now to discuss as well, like, besides Shopify, there is an ecosystem of apps that play with it, and we want to highlight some of those apps. So maybe you can take the word again, and I would specifically be curious about 3 of the apps that I have here. Actually 4, because Pagefly, you mentioned, that's the page builder we use to be able to produce design and do fast releases. And then I'm curious, besides that, on the conjugation of Klaviyo with that Czech app that we have there in the right bottom. And then I'm also curious about GrowWave, because I know that Mana has been using it for quite some time. So I'm curious about the success story there as well.
Yeah, I'll probably start with the GrowWave. I think it's the best way to start. And at the beginning, we have been on different platforms for reviews, for logins, and for everything, right? And then when we launched another store, and we already have like 4 or 5 stores at the time, then it's becoming really expensive. Especially we used really expensive apps from the past, because we like migrate them from the Prestashop, so some of those which are on the boat. And we were looking for some different solution, and basically then we stepped on GrowWave. And I think it was at the time where they were, which kind of we did a lot in the Mana. They've been releasing probably just now. It was first version of the GrowWave, but they already had many of the things. So they have the referral program, loyalty program, they had the reviews, they have the social login, and then some other like aspects of the social, like share, etc. But like these 4 things together, they kind of made sense, right? So we went through it, we tested the app, and we've been able to save, I guess at the time, hundreds of dollars per month on the other apps which we were using, and get even more functionality, which was like super cool, right? You can do that. And like today, GrowWave is still there. Maybe some parts has been moved to a different apps, but it's still there, really working well. And for 3 years, or how long when I have the GrowWave, basically from the beginning, I built on it whole loyalty program. And of course, like once you are moving forward, it may not fit precisely to the stack which you have right now. So that's the reason why some things are changing. And that kind of gives me the bridge to the Smarter, because Smarter is subscription app. And for those who are using Shopify, they know that in the past, we actually launched Shopify subscription on the Mana in the legacy recharge model, right? And you know that you need to switch to the half of the 2024. So we already went through it, or we are going through it with Mana, the switch. And at the time we decided, okay, well, when we are switching, let's switch to something else than recharge, because it wasn't always smooth ride. And I know that even so, recharge is probably one of the biggest and still has so many great functions. We're looking for something more. So Smarter came there, and basically Smarter integrates even the loyalty program, right? So now you have a subscription which integrates the loyalty program, and that's basically what you want, because you want people to aim for the subscription, especially in the product like Mana. So then you can put more incentive on the loyalty program for the subscribers, because that's those people you want to keep them happy. and someone who buys 1 mana per 4 years, yeah, that's great. We love those people, of course, because every purchase is great. But does they have so much like lifetime value? And so the focus is really here and switching the people to the subscription. So for that, the loyalty program maybe makes bigger sense and smarter right now.
Yeah.
But that's the evolution. But GoWave really helped at the time, and they were super supportive. That's what I had to say. And then you aim for another one, which is a Klaviyo, right? And that's another tool for making sure that people stay with you at the time, because we started with Klaviyo even before the subscription, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I remember when I recommended it to you, you were not so sure, and then you tested it for a bit and said, "Hell yeah, this is what I was looking for."
Yeah, actually, because at the time we were on the MailChimp, and MailChimp is great for sending the emails, and I hate spam, right? So, and then I think that nowadays most of the people have so many filters that no spam can reach them, basically, and or any like offers, etc. It's like hard to get them. And what Klaviyo does, it was behavior based. So we know that when you buy a big package of mana, you will run off, if you use it regularly, you will run off the mana in a month. So we just send in the month a customer note, hey, your mana is running out, am I correct? So let's buy it. And this way we basically created a flows. Even the welcome flow there has like 3 months, because mana needs to be explained, needs to be like all of these like benefits, etc. They need to be explained. You need to be explained how to work with the loyalty program, for example,
Yeah.
or that you can refer a customer, like how these things they can work there.
And I imagine that like when you start a subscription as well, it was very important to have some flows to explain what the subscription means for the client, especially in a market where it's not super common yet to be buying something on a recurring basis.
Yeah, for sure. We so even to reduce the churn which would happen, right? Because we basically saw that many of the people will do the second purchase and then they will kill it, and most likely the reason was that people just didn't understand the whole process of the subscription. So we had to explain how the subscription works, because at the time there basically was no one who did the subscription on the physical products. Everyone did the subscription for the membership, then gave you some advantage, but not for the physical product. And so we had to explain it, and even once you start a subscription, so explain you, even if it's first order, how to make the mana, how to work with it, how to put it to your life, etc. And like that's connected to the last part, and that's the skloňování men, which you can see there, because how we were spoken about the market needs. Now you can imagine that all of these apps are from different part of the world, right? And Czech Republic is kind of specific, because in English you can say, hey David, and it's fine, and it's how it's correct. In Czech I cannot say hey Robin, I need to say hey Robine, which like that kind of makes it harder for every email communication, right? So especially on the system like Shopify, which hasn't been connected to any Czech email providers. So therefore the app of the skloňování men, which I'm not sure how it's set correctly in English, maybe you can correct it, but that's basically like putting the name to the different forms so you could like say it hi to someone.
Yeah, in the grammatically correct is declination. For those that are not speaking Latin, it's basically like conjugating a word, So basically the end of the word changes based on this function in the sentence. But that's too much syntax for this conversation already.
Sure. So yeah, I think that Mana has also a tons of the other apps. We put there the X connector because it's widely used for the shipping the products, because Mana is doing the fulfillment by themselves. Metrixify, I think that anyone who ever worked with the Shopify is familiar with Metrixify, because it saves you so much time, because you can work in the CSVs and upload them here and export them, import them, etc. And there are much more other apps which we are using in Mana, of course. But yeah, I think that these are one of the quintessentials. These are and we talk about it a lot. And I ask you to put there this slide, right? But I'm not sure if I need to talk about it a little bit more because we spoke about it. We spoke about
Some questions for you about this, don't worry.
lovely.
Shall I grill you a bit?
Yeah, come on.
Right now, there is a lot of discussion regarding loyalty because the economic situation is not doing so well. You've had customers that were thinking about building a loyalty program, but when they start running the math, they realize that they're going to lose money because they are going to start offering discounts to clients that would buy in anyway. So how does Mana deals with this? I know they probably have a high enough margin because they are producing the product, they are manufacturing it. So, but how are they doing it? And what do you think is the best approach for loyalty and subscription in a way that you will not like kill your margins?
Yeah. I think that's calls to the subscription as well, right? And I will start with the subscription because there it's easier to see,
Yeah.
right? Usually subscription, you have 10 to 20% off of the product and you have free shipping. And what will also happen that instead of forcing the customer to buy 3 packages at once because then they will have the free shipping, you actually split them to the 3 shippings because they don't care and you made it cheaper and they are not paying for the shipping. So now you can see the issue, right? Because something which you would cost probably usually the customer, let's make it simple, 300 euros, right? Kind of expensive, but that would be his order and he would get everything what he wants for half a year, right? And now you put that 15% discount on it on the 300 euros, so you are already on 275 if I'm 255 if I'm correct. And then you will not, and then you are paying for another 3, 4, 5 or whatever amount of the shipping and you are paying it by yourself. And now margins go from, I don't know, 30% to maybe 10. And that's crazy, right? So how to handle it? Well calculated. That's the simplest thing which I can say. And that goes to the customer loyalty. Like imagine that every order would have any discount. What margin for you is still working, right? So is it 10%? Okay, if it's 10%, cool. Just make sure that you are doing it for this. So offer 5% for the subscription, and that, like it's still a good advantage, right? And then you can have another 5% on the loyalty, and 5% doesn't seem much, right? So how to, like, you need to gamify it a little bit. So gaining the points, and once you will have enough points, you can get 20% discount. But in order to get to the points, you will need to make at least 4 purchases at the same amount for with the 5% discount or something like that. And then you basically get, okay, I can offer here 5% or 10% or whatever you can. I can offer altogether 15%. And you just need to calculate that even if you would have their product for free, which customers love to get something for free. But that means that they need to pay, yes. That basically means that they need to buy 10, 15 orders without any discount. And then they can get their product for free. So for customer, it seems, hey, I got the product for free. But for you, what it actually does, okay, I save my margin. Basically, I gave him 10% discount as usual, as I would do with anything else. But it's not just spread to the orders, but it's the 10th orders which you receive for free. So you need to like calculate it this way. And what I do recommend, and I will do a really little bit advertisement for someone else, but I don't know if you are familiar with Unofficial Shopify podcast. And I think like 3 episodes ago, they were speaking about the pricing models. And basically that's an important thing. Make sure that your price is the best. And I'm not meaning it's the cheapest. I'm not meaning it's the biggest margin, but I'm saying it's the best, where you hit the ground that customers are still buying it. They still want to pay this amount of money. And you can think, hey, my prices are, I don't know, $19, right? But you can actually put there 22 and you will not lose any conversion rate, or you will lose so little that on the margins it will be paid out. So this is, and then you can play with the margins for the subscription, and then you can get to like really nice numbers.
Yeah, that's definitely a whole topic in on itself, price optimization, price creation. I wanted to go back to the loyalty system type of thing, type of discussion, because one of the things that seems to me like the best, easiest win-win situation is the referral program that can be connected with the loyalty, right? Because you're basically acquiring the new customers and just paying usually much less than you would pay for in marketing costs,
Yeah.
and you are compensating everybody. Is that correct, or I'm assuming it wrongly?
Like, is it correct? It's hard to sell, honestly. Like, people nowadays, they are more used to do it, but in the past they haven't been, right? So then you think about it, that you need to someone give your link and then you will receive some discount. Cool. But when was the last time when you click on something because someone sent you the link? But only the reason is that you either need to believe the person, which is great, and he needs to know you because he knows your needs, and it's actually something what you would like to try by yourself. So either you will find some discount outside, or you will help your friend or whatever. And like, yeah, it's really cool to have it this way, but again, it may sound, you need to be careful, so you wouldn't do it for the influencers and, for example, promise them money. It really still needs to be for the product. At least I believe so. If you want to do it with the influencers, that's cool. Influencers are great.
Yeah, that's a different strategy.
Exactly.
I like the concept of the referral specifically for like close circle of friends, family. You know, you say, "Mom, buy with this link, please." You know.
Yeah, I don't think we actually get it running in the way that we had like few hundreds referrals maybe, or thousands, I don't know, something like that. But you still need to, it cannot be the only source of your new customers. That's the point.
Of course.
Connected to the loyalty program, it's great. You can put there some points, the same as if they like you on the Instagram or whatever, right? So like building because this strongest connection is between the persons themselves. Not even with the influencer, you will trust them so much because you know it's paid usually. But with the person, it's like, hey, you really try that. That really works, but it really depends on the person. It's a great tool, but it's not like magic wand.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, definitely we could, and probably next time we should just stick with one of these topics and go deeper and deeper into them.
Yeah.
I think we took a bit too much to bite here, but let's go and start closing the conversation. I hope it was valuable for everybody who was watching, and for everybody that will watch this. We are getting very close to our 1 hour limit, so I'll probably skip the Q&A and we'll do it overall like via email, DMs, comments. We'll be very happy to engage with you guys later on. As I said in the beginning, if you want to get the full presentation, they have all the links, documentation there for you. Feel free to follow and DM us. We'll be happy to share with you guys. And you have here the 3 most important things that we believe we can help you with, which is either have a call, no strings attached, and we'll be happy to discuss your business. Start a Shopify store yourself. Like, as we said, you can do a lot of complicated things there, but you can also very seamlessly launch your business if you're starting now, or if you have a relatively small business. And if you want to know more about Mana and what we did with them, you also have there the link, so you can like discover a bit more about our cooperation. Robin, any final thoughts from your side?
No, I just think that we spoke too much about Mana and Shopify and us, and I think that the second part was much better than the first.
Yeah.
Let's learn
So you're
that. Learn from that.
you screw it up as usual.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You live and you learn, right? So this is also the feedback we'll get from the market, from the people, and definitely I'll be happy to like book another one of these in the coming few weeks or months, and we'll probably go much deeper into a specific topic.
Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Have a nice-
Thank you very much, man, for your time.
You too.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.